You don't need an oven to make this decadent chocolate tart. First pulse 32 Oreo cookies in a food processor until they're a fine crumb, then drizzle in half a cup of melted butter. Once a paste forms, transfer to a 9-inch tart tin with a removable bottom and firmly press into the bottom and up the sides. Use any flat circular object you have to get an even layer, then freeze for 5 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, start heating up 7 ounces of heavy cream. You want to bring this up to a simmer, but not a boil. Once it's nice and hot, remove from the heat, then add a combination of milk and semi-sweet chocolate. The residual heat from the cream will gently melt the chocolate to form a ganache. Pour your chocolate ganache into your now cooled crust and gently shake it to even it out. Top with fresh strawberries or your favorite kind of berry and then chill in the fridge for at least 2 hours. You're going to want a glass of milk with this one.
You got those big blue eyes, drive me crazy, make me fantasize about you, baby. And you smell so sweet, like fresh baked daisies. Call me Demer, 'cause your heart's so tasty.
You're in for a real treat with this delicious Tres Leches cake. Start by combining 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt in a large bowl. In a new bowl, add 1¼ cups of sugar, followed by 5 egg yolks. Beat with an electric mixer until the color has changed to a pale yellow and the mixture is very smooth. Pour in 1 teaspoon of vanilla, then whip again until combined. Finally, in a third bowl, whip 5 egg whites until soft peaks form. Sprinkle in 1 cup of sugar, then beat again until stiff peaks form. Pour the egg yolk and sugar mixture into the dry ingredients, then beat with an electric mixer until it has a slightly crumbly texture. Hydrate the mixture with half a cup of milk and 1/4 cup of melted butter. Beat again until the batter is smooth, and now it's time to add the whipped egg whites. It's really important that you gently fold the egg whites in, rather than beat them with an electric mixer. Bake at 350 Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out clean. Once the cake is baked and cooled, prepare your 3 milks by mixing 1 cup of milk, 1 can of evaporated milk, and 1 can of maple condensed milk in a large bowl. Poke lots of holes in the top of the cake. This will help to hydrate the cake when you then pour the milk mixture over top. The cake now needs to chill in the fridge for at least an hour. Top with whipped cream and a sprinkle of cocoa powder or cinnamon for garnish.
This dangerously easy molten chocolate lava cake is the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. Start by adding 2 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and 1/4 cup of butter to a bowl. Microwave it to melt it, then whisk it to combine. Then add in a half cup of powdered sugar and whisk until it's nice and smooth. Do the same for 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. Then add 3 tablespoons of flour and mix it until just combined. Divide the batter into 3 buttered cupcake tins and bake it at 450 for 8 minutes. Serve it immediately with some powdered sugar or ice cream, and that's it. The full recipe is on my Instagram. I hope you try it and let me know what you think.
Hey friends, let's make chocolate eclairs together. They're very easy and so delicious. You'll need 1 cup of water, 1 cup of flour, 100 grams of butter, 3 eggs, whipped cream and chocolate. Preheat your oven to 200 degrees, add the water and butter to a pot and bring to a rolling boil. Once it's bubbling away, you want to take it off the heat and add in your 1 cup of flour and keep stirring until it all starts coming away from the edges and looks like this. Now let it set aside for about 5 minutes to cool. Once it's cool, add in the eggs one at a time, whisking really well until it's nice and glossy. Add them to the baking sheets. You can use piping bags to make them very neat, but I just use 2 spoons. Now cook them for 30 minutes at 200 degrees. Once that half hour is up, drop the heat to 120 and cook for another 15 minutes. When they're out of the oven, let them cool. This is when I make my whipped cream. I add vanilla and caster sugar to my cream, but you make your whipped cream however you like. Melt the chocolate as well. To assemble the eclairs, I cut them in half, leaving the lid just attached, spoon the cream in, and then spoon chocolate on top, and then I store them in the fridge. Enjoy!
Not to toot my own horn or anything, but this coffee cake is actually perfect. Start by combining a half cup of brown sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Then, to make the streusel, lightly mix 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of brown sugar, a half teaspoon of kosher salt, 4 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a half cup of cooled melted butter with a fork. It should look something like this. To make the pound cake, cream together a half cup of softened butter with 1 cup of sugar. Then add 2 eggs and some vanilla and mix. Then add 2 cups of flour, a half teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Then mix together 1 cup of sour cream and a half cup of buttermilk and add that to the batter. Mix everything until well combined and spread half the batter in a lined baking tray. Sprinkle over the cinnamon sugar, add the rest of the batter, and top it with the streusel. Bake it at 350 for 32 minutes, and that's it. The full recipe is on my Instagram. I hope you try it and let me know what
looking, you see me empty.
Here's how I made this absolutely stunning cinnamon swirl coffee cake. To make the streusel, lightly mix together 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of brown sugar, a half teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a half cup of cooled melted butter with a fork. Then mix together a half cup of brown sugar with 1 teaspoon of cinnamon for the swirl part. For the batter, cream together a half cup of softened butter with 1 cup of sugar. Then add 2 eggs and some vanilla extract and mix everything together. Then add 2 cups of flour, a half teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Then mix together 1 cup of sour cream and a half cup of buttermilk and add that to the batter. Mix everything together until combined. Spread half the batter in a lined baking tray, then sprinkle over the cinnamon sugar mixture. Add the rest of the batter on top and add the streusel to finish. Bake at 350 for 32 minutes, and that's it. The full recipe is on my Instagram. I hope you guys try this.
Let's make the easiest dessert ever. 3 ingredient Oreo Fudge. 1 bag of white chocolate chips. 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Stir. Oreos. Chop. Microwave in 30-second increments. After 30 seconds. After 2 minutes. Golden Oreos. Oh my god. Wow. Pour into greased tray. Top with Oreos. Chill. Slice. And there you have the most easy, delicious Oreo fudge. So good.
Edible cookie dough. 1 cup of flour. Now we need to heat treat this flour because we're eating it raw to kill any bacteria that might be inside. So just pop this in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. Now we need half a cup of softened butter and half a cup of brown sugar, and then 3 tablespoons of white sugar. Cream those together. Okay, now we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, half a teaspoon of salt, and then our flour. Now mix all that up and slowly add in 1.5 tablespoons of milk. Oh, this is looking so good. Okay, the last thing we gotta add is our chocolate chips. You're supposed to do half a cup, but who really measures? Not me. Oh my gosh. Yes, please. Oh, wow. This is the best.
I almost don't want to put you onto this, but I will because this carrot cake recipe is actually incredible. To a large bowl, add 4 eggs, 1 cup of brown sugar, a half cup of applesauce, 3/4 of a cup of olive oil, 1 cup of white sugar, and a generous splash of vanilla, and whisk that until combined. Then add 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, a pinch of kosher salt, and 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and mix that until just combined. Then add 2 to 3 cups of grated carrots and fold. Then you want to divide the batter between 2 parchment-lined 9-inch cake tins and bake them at 350 for around 35 minutes. Let them cool on a wire rack and make your cream cheese frosting. In the meantime, I'll post the recipe for mine soon. After the layers have cooled down, spread about 1/3 of the frosting between the 2 cakes and spread the rest over the top and sides. So yeah, that's it. The full recipe is up on my Instagram. I hope you try it and let me know what you think.